Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lah wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbi syrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise be to Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the wickedness of ourselves and from the badness of our deeds. Who given by guidance by Allah, then nobody can be misguided for him. And whoever been misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness, there's no God worthy to be worshipped except Allah. Only Him, no associate for Him. And I bear witness that Muhammad is His messenger and His servant. O Allah, give good prayers upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and give good prayers upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Really, you are most worthy of praises and more exalted in nobility. Today, inshallah, we'll continue with our 23rd rule of 50 Quranic rule on soul and life. The last topic that we took is actually we took the rule that Allah Ta'ala said, Innahu may yattaqi wa yasbir fa inna Allah la yudhi'u ajral muhsinin. Verily, those who have piety and have patience, then Allah surely will not abandon the reward for those who doing good. Whoever do good, then Allah Ta'ala will not abandon their reward, insyaAllah. And it's the same as being said about the way for us to avoid the conspiracy being done by the enemy of Islam. Also Allah Ta'ala said, wa in tasbiru wa tattaqu la yadurukum kaiduhum syai'a. And if you be patient and you have piety, fear towards Allah, and it will surely will not harm you any of their plot. This is from the Surah Al-Imran, verse number 120. So that is actually what we took last week. So today, inshallah, we'll go into the latest, the 23rd rule. That is actually the saying of Allah, Wa'tul buyuta min abwabiha. Come to the house or enter to the house from its doors. From its doors. He said here, it's actually being taken out from the Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 189. Verse number 89. The rule is taken out from that ayah. This rule is taken from that ayah. He said here, the author said, وَهَذِهِ الْقَاعِدَةُ الْقُرْآنِيَّةُ. This Quranic rule, جاءت ضمن سياق الحديث عن عادة من عادات الأهل الجاهلية. It came in the topic of in the saying of Allah, or the telling about one of the custom of among the custom that the Jahiliyah people have before. Alladhina idha ahramu, that when they do the ihram, go into the state of ihram. Because we know, we did talk about this, that before, even before the Prophet SAW being sent by Allah, the people of Mecca and even all the Arabs is actually doing the Hajj, doing the Umrah. They have the circle around the Kaabah, and also they go to Arafah, they go to Mina, All of that is actually being done by them. Except that the sequence and certain rules, the people of Mecca have changed it. One of it is actually about whoever is not from the people of Mecca, not from the Quraysh, if they want to go to Hajj, they are going into the state of Ihram, they cannot use the normal door of their houses. They must come from the back door or the side door. We have make another door, not the same door that they are using every day in the state of Ihram. This custom is applied on the people is not from the Quraysh. Because when our author said about the thing, the hadith of Al-Bara' bin Azib radhiyallahu anhu, that saying about this, he told the story about the people of Medina. When they want to go to Hajj, they do the pilgrimage to Mecca. In the state of Ihram, they cannot use the normal door. Must go to the back door, if there is door. If they doesn't have any back door, then they have to make a door there. Maybe at that time it's actually quite easy because their houses are from mud and bricks, not like our time today, concrete. So if you want to smack down, you want to put a hole inside your concrete house, actually so many works have to be done. But they at this time, because of their houses is like that, so they have that custom. Many of the custom, other custom than that, is actually what being done by the people of Mecca. They said that anybody want to circle the Kaabah, if they are not being given clothes by the people of Mecca, they must do the tawaf naked, without any clothes. So that's at that time, the man will circle in the daytime, and the woman at night, because they have to circle, unless the people of Mecca give them the clothes, give the people they came to come to do the Hajj. And the people of Mecca give them clothes, then they can tawaf or do the circle with clothes. If not, they cannot do the tawaf except nakedly. That is what type some of the rules being done by them. So in here, alladhina idza ahramu, that when they do they enter the state of ihram, lam yadkhulul buyuta min abwabiha, they don't enter the houses from its doors. Ta'abbudan bidzalika, and they doing that is like an act of worship towards Allah. Wa zannan annahu birrun, and they thought that is actually a good thing to do. Fa akhbarallahu annahu laysa bibirrin, then Allah Ta'ala told them that is actually not a good thing. Li'anna Allah Ta'ala lam yashra'hu lahum, because Allah Ta'ala never ever have put the law for them like that. There's no law, no such law is being put down by Allah. Kama sabata bisababi hadha nuzuli fi sahihain, as being proven, the reason of the revelation of this ayah, the Surah Al-Baqarah 189 in Sahihain, in Bukhari and Muslim, min hadith Al-Bara' bin Azib radhiyallahu anhu. He said that the people of Medina, like I said, because the people of Mecca, they don't have this tradition. They impose this tradition to other than the Quraysh, because the Quraysh is the guardian of Mecca. So the people of Mecca doesn't do that, but people not from Mecca, they must do. So Al-Bara' bin Azib said about the people of Medina. So they usually do the same tradition. Means that if they in the state of ihram, they want to go to Hajj, cannot use the front door, the normal door of the house. They must go from the back of the house. Even coming back from the Hajj also, they must enter from the back door. But suddenly, one of the people in Medina, enter the house from the front door. Suddenly people all around him start to shame him about that, whatever he doing. Then Allah Ta'ala send this ayah to tell us that it's not a good thing to enter your house from the back door. Qala ta'ala, Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Baqarah verse number 139, Yas'alunaka 'anil ahillah. They ask you, O Muhammad, about the crescent, the beginning of the moon, crescent, or we say hilal, or in Malay anak bulan. They ask you about the crescent. Qul hiya mawaqitu lin-nas wal hajj. Say, O Muhammad, that the crescent, the circle of the crescent from the start until going into end, because we know that the moon start from just a line and become bigger and bigger and bigger until the 14th day full moon. Then after that it start to decrease and to be smaller again, to be small again. So what about that crescent? So the Prophet are being told to say to them, Qul hiya mawaqitu lin-nasi wal hajj. Say, O Muhammad, that the crescent is actually for time, for people to make a time for them. Like if you borrow some money from a person, then you say, I will pay you after 2 months, after 1 week, or after. So the crescent is actually become the sign, the time for them, for you. If not, then the sun is actually, the sun have a little bit of that differentiation when it rise, because in the Khatulistiwa we call the center equator. If not, you are not in the equator, your day and night is actually will not be always equivalent 12 or 12. But if you are in the equator, normally your day is 12, your night is 12. So the position of the Arabs country, the peninsula, is actually they are more further north from the equator. So they actually have that differentiation of the sunrise and sunset. When the sun want to rise in certain time, they will be from here, and certain time from the other side. But that is not really clear for you to make a time for anything, for marriage or for borrowing or any agreement between you and others. You cannot use that, the sun. But the moon is clear for you, because every night you can look at the moon and you know that the day have passed from the time that you maybe borrow some money or lend somebody something, some money. So you can really know the time. So Wal-Hajj, and also the crescent is for people to go to Hajj, to know that when is Hajj is already come for them, the season for Hajj came already come. And Allah Ta'ala said, وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَنْ تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا. It is not a good thing for you to come to the house from its backs, the back of the house. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى. But the goodness is actually whoever have the piety. The piety is actually the thing that Allah Ta'ala want from you. وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. Come to the house from its front door, from its doors, not from the other part. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. Have piety towards Allah. Have fear to Allah. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. May you all be successful. So that's the first meaning. The first meaning of that rule. But the problem is, this rule is really not about that thing only. He said here, min tatbiqati hadhihi al-qa'idati, from the implementation of this rule. Wala in kana sabun nuzul alladhi alaja dhalika al-khata' min man ajla wa azhara as-suwar allati alajatha hadhihi al-qa'idata. Even though the reason of the revelation of this ayah, of this rule, is actually handling the mistake for those who doing something, exposing or doing clearly in front of everybody, the picture or the idea that is actually this ayah is concerning about. Because originally it's talking about the mistake being done by them in the state of ihram, They want to go out from the back door. فَإِنَّ ثَمَّةَ تَطْبِيقَاتٌ أُخْرَى. But there is actually other implementation, that is a wide implementation, very wide, vast implementation for this Quranic rule. لِهَذِهِ الْقَائِدَةِ الْقُرْآنِيَّةِ الْجَلِيلَةِ. This great Quranic rule. وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. تَظْهَرُ لِمَنْ تَتَبَّعَ كَلَامُ الْعُلَمَاءِ عَنْهَا. It actually will be clear for those who follow the saying of the scholars about this rule. أو في تطبيقاتهم العملية لها, or in their implementation, practical implementation for this rule. ومن ذلك, among it, first, ibadatullah ta'ala, the implementation of the act of worship towards Allah. فإنها الطريق الموصل إلى الله عز وجل. Because it is actually the road, the act of worship that you do is actually the way or the road that will make you arrive towards Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَمَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يَصِلَ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Whoever want to arrive to Allah, want to come to Allah. فَعَلَيْهِ أَنْ يَسْلُكَ الطَّرِيقَ الْمُوصِلِ إِلَيْهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. He have to go through the road or the way that will make him arrive towards Allah. وَلَا يَكُونُ ذَلِكَ. And actually, it will not road with the way. The way, munadian, in calling to others, come. وَأَقَامَهُ عَلَىٰ أَعْلَامَهَا دَاعِيًا. And Allah Ta'ala have raised upon it, upon the road, flags, all the sign is being put there by calling. It is still calling for people to come to it. وَإِلَيْهَا هَادِيًا. And towards the road, Allah Ta'ala give guidance. فَالْبَابُ عَنْ السَّالِكِ فِي غَيْرِهَا مَسْدُودٌ. So the door to whoever crossing in other than the road of the Prophet Muhammad SAW is actually being blocked. وَهُوَ عَنْ طَرِيقِ الْهُدَاهُ وَسَعَادَةُ مَسْدُودٌ. And also, whoever crossing not by the road that Allah Ta'ala put by the Prophet SAW, وَهُوَ عَنْ طَرِيقِ الْهُدَاهُ. The person also from the way of his guidance and also his happiness being diverted. Not you cannot arrive to that. بَلْ كُلَّمَا ازْدَادَ كَدَحًا وَاجْتِهَادًا. Even so, that every time the person is actually more tiring himself on the other road than the road of the Prophet, more tiring and more struggling in that other road, izdada min Allahi tardan wa ibada. He become more from Allah, being sent away and more far away from Allah. He's not becoming nearer to Allah. Like if you see, this time we actually using the ways to move around. Sometimes when you see the place is actually in front of you. In our days today, the highway is they say like spaghetti. Some people say it's actually the road is like spaghetti. Pasta. After you drop it, then it's like that. So if you miss the turn, you miss the spot or the road, you cannot arrive. Even though you can see the place is near you, but because the wrong way that you use, make you further than the place not nearer. This is actually being said in Mecca. Only the people of Mecca know its route, because you can see the place is near for you. But when you wrongly choose the junction or the way, you will be more further from the place, not nearer to the place, because the houses is actually being built by people before our time. They build it not by an architecture or planning. Just I want this road, I want this house, I want this land. Then they start build. So the place may be near to you. You can see the place, but the road will be diverted from the place. You cannot arrive. That's why when Ibn Qayyim said, whenever a person is actually struggling and tiring himself in the road that is actually not being put by Allah, not being shown to us by the Prophet Muhammad SAW. So the tiredness, the struggling that he have will make him more further from Allah, not nearer to Allah. وَيُؤَكِّدُ ذَلِكَ الْعَلَّامَةُ السَّعْدِي رحمه الله. And that is being confirmed by Al-Allamah Sa'di, when the author of Tafsir As-Sa'di. Now actually many people is using the tafsir that being done by him. His tafsir is actually quite really short. He doesn't go into the dispute between the scholars. He just say this ayah is actually telling about what Allah Ta'ala want. Tafsir As-Sa'di, Tafsir Karimur Rahman. Actually, I didn't see the translation, because I think is it there translation? Tafsir Karimur Rahman is actually Tafsir As-Sa'di tafsir. So he actually explaining exactly like what being told by Ibn Qayyim. He said in his comment upon this rule that we are actually talking about it right now. He said, فَيَقُولُ وَكُلُّ مَنْ تَعَبَّدْ being blocked, being operate, bypass. Even though the person is actually so taking care of his health. But when you think about it, the person is actually having a stress of work, because he's the CEO of a company, big company. So he was thinking day and night, cannot sleep at night, cannot. He doing something, try to, but actually not to have connection with your God, not to think about the last day, is something that will make you tire yourself for something that is actually is not everlasting. Everything in this world is not everlasting. So think about that. So when you say here, because the easiness is actually from among the rule of this Sharia, this law of Allah for us, from among its rule is suhulah, the easiness. So that's why the saying come, wa'tul buyuta min abwabiha, come to the house from its doors, not from its back. Use the real door for you. He said here, number 2, وَمِن تَطْبِيقَاتِ هَذِهِ الْقَاعِدَةِ, and from among the implementation of this rule, أَنَّهُ, that is actually يُؤْخَذُ مِنْ أُمُومِهَا الْلَفْظِي وَالْمَعْنَوِي, taken out from its generalness in its words and also its meaning, أَنَّ كُلَّ مَطْلُوبٍ مِنَ الْمَطَالِبِ الْمُهِمَّةِ يَنْبَغِي أَنْ يُؤْتَى مِنْ بَابِهَا, that every requirement from among the highest requirement that you must do, your task, have to be done from its door, from the right place. Don't ever try to have a back door, or not going into the SOP. Now actually after the pandemic, we always say there is a SOP, checklist for doing something. You have to the rule you must follow. Then yesterday I've been told by the Minister of Health that the implementation about the mask is not really not obligated anymore, but it's actually for the person, they can use it. If they want to wear it, they wear it, not being imposed upon us anymore. It's actually little by little we can see the easiness in life. More relaxed. If not, you are seeing anybody, they seeing people are looking at you. Anyway, because the thing that any requirement of things that is actually important requirement, always you have to come from the door. وَهُوَ أَقْرَبُ طَرِيقٍ وَوَسِيلَةٍ يَتَوَصَّلُ بِهَا إِلَيْهِ. It's actually the nearest way and also the easiest way to come to whatever the task that you want to do. It's the easiest way. Like sometimes in our time today, but if he said something like this, the feminist people will have anger to us. Anyway, that when we can see that when Allah Ta'ala give obligation to the man and the woman, differentiate between them, Allah Ta'ala never ever ask for the woman to do the task of the man. You can be in the highest place in the paradise, but not going to the same way of the man. Because the Prophet ﷺ, in our time right now, some women say that it's easy for you. You are a man. All the good way is open for you. Not for us, the women. We have to take care of this, take care of that. We have to be like this and that. So some women look whatever Allah Ta'ala give them, or Allah Ta'ala give from the obligation as a wife, as a mother. They said it's actually burdening them. It's actually become them, tiring them. By saying that if I can do the man's work, I will be happy. But actually, when Allah Ta'ala give for the woman the easy task, actually the easy task, even though the woman will say that it's actually the hard task. Allah Ta'ala say, the Prophet ﷺ told us in one of his hadith, when a woman obey Allah, obey her husband, she pray the day that she can pray, and she fast in the month that she have to fast, and she protect her dignity. Means that the sexuality that she have only for her husband. If she can take care of that, it will be said to her in the last day, enter the paradise from any door that you want. Actually, the door of the paradise is designated with what you are actually known in this world. Because the people that go to jihad, there's a door of jihad. People who do like to pray, not obligatory prayers, salat, but actually sunat salat. They actually not the obligatory. All of this is not obligatory. So the jihad, there's the fasting door is known because the Prophet told us the name of the door, Rayyan. So every people will will call every person will be called to go inside the paradise in designated door. Abu Bakar as-Siddiq radhiyallahu anhu said to the Prophet when he listened to the hadith, he said, every one of them is actually being called through a designated door. Don't a person be called from every door? The Prophet said, I hope you are the person. Yeah, then we learn, we go further into the discussion. That why did Prophet said, I hope that you are the person that will be called from every door. The Prophet ﷺ did ask, in another hadith, he asked his companion, which one of you do the fasting, the sunat fasting today? So Abu Bakar raised his hand. Which one of you pray, not the obligatory pray? He raised his hand. Every time the Prophet asked, the sadaqah, helping person, the Abu Bakar as-Siddiq raised his hand for everything. Even Umar ibn Khattab radhiyallahu anhu, he did spy on Abu Bakr one day to see that what did Abu Bakr did when he went out after prayer in the morning. He went out somewhere he doesn't know. So so Umar followed him. When he followed Abu Bakr, actually Abu Bakr went to a house. There's a woman, old woman, that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is preparing all the food, or everything for the woman. The woman doesn't know who the person that is coming to her house, doing all of that. Then he went out to be the Khalifa, to be the one actually, he actually the leader of the country, going into the house and preparing for the woman everything for her day today. Then the second day he will come to do second day. You know what Umar said? When Umar looked what being done by Abu Bakr, he said that you are tiring whoever become the second Khalifa after you. Whoever become the next Caliph, whoever come after you as a leader, you will be really tired with what you done. Because Abu Bakr is actually doing that. So when the Prophet said to Abu Bakr, I hope you are the person that will be called by all the doors, it's actually a rank that so high, so good, that Abu Bakr is actually the person that the Prophet said, I hope you are. But a woman can achieve the same thing as Abu Bakr just by doing 5 things. 5 things, only 5 things. Obey Allah, obey the husband, pray the day you can pray, fast in the month you can fast, and also protect your dignity, protect yourself from exposing your aurah, from doing. Right now, it's actually so many people actually so attracted to show their beauty inside TikTok, the camera there, and they start doing something there and dance. I don't know what happened to our people right now. And even actually the new generation of TikTok, they cannot listen to music. Because I went to Subway, the restaurant, to buy some of the sandwiches. And when I go to the counter, suddenly there's music there. And the girls, they start to dance. And I said to her, why are you dancing? to all the girls, why are you dancing? Why? This is actually the generation of TikTok. They actually have all the courage and the showing on the screen. If you take them in front of real people, they cannot talk. They cannot do that. The thing is actually only in front of the screen. That is something that actually not really good, because you are actually living in this world. You are meeting people every day, going into discussion, going into muamalah with many people. So if you cannot meet people and talk to people, you only on the screen, that is problem there, because you are not living inside the screen. But they actually like to do that. Even one time, few years during the MCO, a girl being shown, a girl, she was actually dancing in front of her phone, and the neighbor's son came to send iftar, some of foods for breaking the fast. So she actually doesn't really know that the boy is actually coming from behind. So she start to dancing in front of her phone, and when she actually dancing in front of the phone, she realized that the boy is there. She become so shy, suddenly become shy. She was not shy to do the act in front of the camera. She being shy because of that guy, the boy, is coming and looking at her, bringing the food. So it's actually something that this time today, in our time today, that people is actually doing things that actually not supposed to. So when we return to our topic, a woman is actually being given by Allah the way so easy for her to get equivalent to the rank of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radhiyallahu anhu. But some women will say that, oh, it's tiring for me, it's not for me, I don't like it, I like to be outside of the house, I like to go into the jungle to make a reversion inside the jungle. So it's actually the same as our talking right now. The door being open for her so wide for her to go into the paradise and get the rank, the best rank she can get. But she is climbing the top of the building and going by rope to enter from the window. The door is open for her, but she is coming not from the way that being open. Because the way that Allah give us to go into paradise is so easy for each one of us, for the person that have knowledge. That Allah implement upon them to convey the message, to give the knowledge. The person that have money, then Allah told them for that about the money. A person that have the strength to go into jihad, then about his strength be asked. You will not be asked something that Allah didn't give you. Allah never will ask for the poor people, why didn't you give charity? Why didn't you give sadaqah? Allah will not say to those who have knowledge, why don't you pray more? Why don't you fast more? It's actually will not be asked from you something that's actually not you don't have. Allah will only ask from you whatever you have. So the easiness of this Sharia. He say here, وَذَلِكَ يَقْتَدِي مَعْرِفَةَ الْأَسْبَابِ. And it's actually when you want to know the easy way, the nearest way for you to do whatever being obligated for you to do, that is actually you must have the knowledge about the reason and also the way, by really complete knowledge. Because if you don't know about Sharia, like the hadith that I mentioned just now, if you don't learn the hadith, then you don't know that Allah Ta'ala open for the woman a nearer, an easier way to the paradise. A man will be asked by Allah about his neighbor, about his family, about the conveying the message, amar ma'ruf nahi munkar, telling people to do the good and stop them from doing the bad. Will be asked from the man. Woman will not be asked. Also expenses of the family would not ever be asked from a woman. Would not ever be asked. That is the thing when people look into the inheritance in Islam. Yeah, less for the woman because less obligation. Man is more for you, but more obligation. Like sometimes happen in your family, you are the man in your family, and your sisters, your brother, all of them have children. So if you look into your brother's child, you actually are the one who can get inheritance from your nephew. If your nephew died, amaliyati. This is actually, if you look into it, there's no differences between between the matter of knowledge and also practical. In knowledge, you have to go to the door if you want to, like in our day right now, when your child, your nephew or your son want to go into becoming a doctor. So the door that he or she must go first, that he or she must know about biology. The way is there. You cannot. If you want to be an engineer, mathematics, he have to. The calculation inside his head must be powerful. Have that string. And all of it is actually the door. Like you want to know Islam, you have to have the knowledge, the basic knowledge of Arabic language. That is actually one of the basic thing. You have to. That is the door. You cannot go into that field except through that door. That's why the author want to say. And also, this matter is actually doesn't have any differences between matters of religion or matters of your life, dunya. Diniyah or dunya, the same. Like I said just now, mathematics, you want to go into engineering, you want to be an engineer or physicist, mathematics is actually important for you. You want to go into this field, you have to have biology. You have to go into chemical, you have to have all the things that is actually basic. So if you don't go into the real door, you will not achieve. You cannot get to the goal. Wala bainal umuril muta'addiyati wal qasirati. In also the same for any matters that is actually so far in length for you to get it, or actually short, whether it's long term or short term, is always have to be in the right way. That's why the rule saying waqtul buyuta min abwabiha, come to the house from. So they should not go to work on the day of Sabbath. Stay at home and do the act of worship towards Allah. But they do the trick. The people of the book do the trick, so that they didn't go to the place to catch the fish, on the Sabbath, but they make like boundaries near the near the shore, and they put a door, because put a door at the entrance, so they will lock the door or left out the door on that Sabbath day at the night. So they come to catch the fish in the morning of Sunday. This is the next day. So they said, we didn't catch it on the day of Sabbath, but they did the boundaries by using woods to stop the fish from getting away, because Allah Ta'ala test them. in the day of Sabbath, the fish came to the shore. It's actually like being said, some of us, you want to take the water, you have to get away the fish from the water, because so many coming to the shore. So Allah Ta'ala test them with that. And they actually tempted, and they do the trick. In Islam, doing trick to not obeying Allah is actually forbid. You cannot do something like cup, or you can make the cup being rent the cup for 3 days is okay. But you cannot say, I sell you this cup for 3 days, and after that you have to return it to me. Then the word is actually not actually the thing is actually not whatever being said by your mouth. The same as marriage. So some people doing that trick. The trick about to make permissible for them to just be lustful in their life. Means that there is a fornication or become permissible by that way. Legalize there, to legalize. وَأَخُذَتْ بِهَا الْأَمْوَالُ مِنْ أَرْبَابِهَا, and being taken the belonging or the wealth from its owner. فَأُعْتِيَتْ لِغَيْرِ أَهْلِهَا, and being given to those who actually not the owner. You can take the land of a people, you make it legalized to take the land of a people. Because you cannot force things, is actually you cannot force somebody to sell their belonging to you. But the thing happen even in our time right now. Some of people actually doing to legalize to take away the land of some people because they want it for certain project that they want. وَأُطِلَتْ بِهَا الْوَاجِبَاتِ, and even become abandoned all the obligatories because of the things that the trick that being done. Some people doesn't want to pray, and he start to say things that related to the prayer. He said that inside the Islam is not only the 5 prayers. That is actually being said in the Qur'an, in Surah Al-Ma'arij. Surah Al-Ma'arij, verse number verse number 23. Actually, the trick is like this. They said that you are doing this prayer, but inside the Quran, there is certain verses that we see is actually different from what you are doing. What is it? He said that inside that surah, verse number 23, Allah said about the people that is actually not having, if they been imposed to them badness, they don't have any uncertainty. They know Allah Ta'ala is their Lord, and everything happen is actually for the test. Those people, Allah Ta'ala said, they have the characters. From among the characters that they have, alladhina hum fi salatihim daimun. The people are those who, on performing their prayers, they actually daimun, always fixed. Daimun is actually not stopping. You don't stop at all. Always. But when we read it the right way, the meaning is actually always taking care of their salat. They don't neglect. Okay. But the problem, those people who are doing tricks to left out the obligatory, they said that this is another prayer. Means that when you are talking, you have to be in prayer state. When you are eating, you have to be in prayer state, because those people always praying. They translated the word daimun, always. That they are always praying. Always praying. So the meaning is actually, now I'm praying. After this, I'm walking, I also praying. He said, how is it? They left out whatever being obligated to them and start to make a confusion from this ayah. And some of them go into the verse of Al-Baqarah 239. When Allah Ta'ala teach us about the prayer during the war. During the war, actually, you can pray by walking and also by riding. During war. During the war time. Actually, during the fight. During the fight. Because if you during the war, there's another ayah in Surah An-Nisa, verse number 101, 102, about the position of the makmum of the imam. They have to take their turn to pray with the imam. The first one pray with the imam, and the second one after that the imam will pray with the first group one raka'ah, and the second group another raka'ah. Salatul Khawf. Salatul Khawf. So some of them taking these few ayah and start a confusion among people. Why? To not doing the obligation. They want to drop out the obligation. Just because the confusion is there. They said, because, see. So I think even the 5-time prayers is actually not obligated for us. So those people actually doing that tricks. A'tilas biha al-wajibat. Many of the obligation being abandoned because of that. Wadi'atil bihal huquq. And also all the rights is actually being taken away. The right in inheritance, the right of the husband, the right of the wife being taken away because of the tricks being done. Wa'ajjatil furuj wal amwal wal huquq ila rabbiha ajija. And being stripped away all the dignity of a woman, the belonging, the wealth, and also the rights from its owner, by force. وَضَجَّتْ مِمَّا حَلَّ بِهَا إِلَيْهِ ضَجِّجًا. And also, they start to make noise towards whatever being permissible by Islam, by few saying that it's not that, it's not this. So make confusion between human. وَلَا يَخْتَلِفُ الْمُسْلِمُونَ أَنَّ تَعْلِيمَ هَذِهِ الْحِيَلِ حَرَامٌ. It's not ever being not ununited by the Muslim. It's known, that never ever there's a miscommunication or disagreement. There's no such disagreement by the Muslim that this teaching that we say that to do tricks to make sure that the halal become haram or the haram become halal. The doing tricks, this is actually forbidden by Islam. Wal-ifta' biha haram, and to give fatwas, to give opinion by these tricks is actually also haram. Wasyahadatu ala madmuniha haram, also to become the witness of this type of agreement or this type of tricks also haram. Wal-hukmu biha ma'al ilmi bihaliha haram, and to give rulings with these tricks, but while you are actually knowing it about its condition, also haram. Because some people, I heard about a person, he said, if the guy, because one of influential guy like to drink liquor or intoxicated drinks. So this ustaz say to his friend, you say to that guy, if you want the dalil to drink the intoxicated drinks, I have the dalil. I can give him the dalil. I can give the evidence that is actually permissible. When I read about the opinion, you know how he goes. He said that the word khamr in Islam or in the day of the Prophet, referring to the wine or the liquor or the intoxicated drinks that being made from the grapes or the dates. So other than that, it's not there. He said, from the grain, from the rice, wheat, barley. So it's not there. So the really forbid is actually the wine from the grape and also the tamar. This one is makruh. He said. He doesn't want to go into the saying of the Prophet, kullu muskirin khamrun. Everything that is intoxicating is khamr. Wa kullu muskirin haramun. Everything that is intoxicating is actually haram. That's the saying of the Prophet. To make sure that, because will come the time, the Prophet said, will come the time that a person will drink the intoxicated drinks and name it with another name. No, beer, wine, and the word is not there anymore. The khamr will not being used. Not really about the person must intoxicated. The process being done means that when the producer, the one who produced the drink, he meant by producing it to make intoxication happen. Even it doesn't happen, it's still haram. Because at the same way, when you are actually eating tapai, why tapai is not forbid for us to be eaten? It's because the process being done for you to eat the sweets, not about to intoxicate yourself. If you are doing that to intoxicate yourself, from the start is haram. Even from the manufacturer is haram. No, from the start, it's become haram. Maybe actually a person made the tapai, the first batch, for intoxicating purpose. Second batch, just for the sweet. The first batch is actually haram, even though it's not intoxicating you. The second batch is halal. That is why when you get tapai from the people like the Iban people in Sarawak, they're not doing that for the sweet. They are doing that for intoxicating their self. Then from the start is actually haram. The same happen like the balsamic vinegar. If you know, the balsamic vinegar is actually the vinegar from the grape. Vinegar from the grape is called balsamic vinegar. If from the start of the process you are doing that, because the vinegar will pass the wine process. The fermentation will happen from the juice to fermentation happen and until become the vinegar. In the state of vinegar is halal. In this state is haram. But if you from the start you are doing that, even you're crushing the grapes. Why are you crushing the grape? I want to make something that intoxicated to intoxicate. From the start, even though the thing is not intoxicating, it's still haram. Your doing is haram, even though it is enter into the 10, being condemned by Allah, la'nat by Allah. Not only the drinker, the server, the buyer, the seller, the one who took, the one who picked the grape, the one who crushed the grape. All of it is actually inside that, condemned by Allah. So that's the differences. So sometimes this person that I said is Ustaz, when he said that, I know there's dalil for you to drink. Because he said, the reason he giving, that is the trick. To make sure that he want to get close to the influential person. He want to get close to that person. So he said that I have that dalil. Say to the person, I can give him the dalil. Clearly, it's a trick. You know it's a trick. Because the hadith of the Prophet is there. The Prophet said, Kullu muskirin khamrun. Anything that making you intoxicate is actually intoxicating is haram. Wa kullu muskirin haramun. Is because everything that is intoxicating is haram. All of it is khamr and all of it is haram. And also there's a rule being imposed by the Prophet ﷺ, by looking into the hadith of the Prophet. Whatever is actually the abundant quantity of it making you intoxicate, a small quantity of it also is haram. You don't say that my limit is 3 bottles. That's still not intoxicating. Even 1 sip, even 1 drop, this is haram. Because you know, knowingly, you know that the thing is being manufactured to become intoxicating. Then it's not permissible for you. Even the Prophet ﷺ didn't give the permission from one of his companion, Abu Talha. He married a woman. The woman have a children. Then the children often not left out with any belonging except a jar or a big pile of liquor, wine. So he asked the Prophet, can we change or do something to the wine, turn it into vinegar, and sell it and take the money for this orphan? The Prophet said, Ahriku, spill it, don't use it, spill it, the Prophet said. Ahriku means that there is no such thing you can use it. We can say that I'm not to excuse myself from the start, because the thing is already being made for intoxicating yourself, being left out like that. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, even the companion was drinking. So before Islam, no, during Islam, even the early of Islam, is not being yes. In the Quran, there's 3 steps. If you look, there's 3 steps. How the thing being forbidden by Allah. The first in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 219. Okay. That's the first verse. The Allah Ta'ala said in there, they ask you about the gambling, the drinking of intoxicated drinks, and also gambling. And the Prophet said, Allah Ta'ala said to the Prophet, Kul fihima ismun kabir. Say, O Muhammad, in those 2 things, there's big sin. And also, wa manafi'un linnas, there are few good things for the people. There are benefits for the people, because by drinking the liquor or the intoxicating drinks, you can forget your worry. No, not for cancer. At that time, just to left out your worry. And the second thing is actually, for gambling, you can be rich at this short time. That is 219. And after that, Allah Ta'ala sent the second verse is actually from Surah An-Nisa, verse number 43. In that verse, Allah Ta'ala 43. In that verse, Allah Ta'ala forbid whoever intoxicated cannot come to the mosque, cannot go near to the mosque. Not just praying, no, going to the mosque also is forbid. Then after that, the last one is Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 90. Then there is total forbid. The companion was drinking at that time, before being forbidden by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Okay. So all these tricks is actually not permissible in Islam. فَإِذَا تَبَيَّنَ ذَلِكَ, he said, and if that's become clear, فَقَارِنْ, then try to compare. كَمْ هُمُ الَّذِينَ وَقَعُوا فِي هَذَا الْمَرْتَعِ الْوَخِيمِ. How many of people is actually going into this low field that actually marta is actually place for grazing. Wahim is so low, actually disrespectful. People is actually doing that tricks right now. He said many people is doing that, going into that. Mimman nasabu li anfusim li ifta, from among people that lift up themselves to give advice to people, to say that this fatwa, this good, that I said just now, that an ustaz was giving that idea to a VIP, that he can give the dalil, so that the VIP can drink in front of any people. Fi ba'dil manabir al-i'lamiyah. Actually, the saying come from the from the restroom of media, not from the place of learning. not from the real Ustaz. But normally in television, you can see that some people actually giving fatwa without knowing anything. And say something that is actually not there to become permissible. Such as, there's one person, actually I listened to what he said. He's being asked about steak meat being put into wine. Being said that because the wine can make the meat become softer, easier to be digest or become delicious. So being asked to him about this, he is not actually a person that can give a ruling. He's not a mufti. He's a celebrity, not a mufti. But people leave out this person to give fatwa. So, no, Malaysia. So I listened to what he explained. He said that he said the reason for the liquor or the wine is forbid because of the alcohol inside it. So when you Zaki. So when you cook the meat, then the alcohol will evaporated. So the meat become halal. He says something like that without thinking, actually. I say without thinking because if you know the hadith that we mentioned just now from riwayat Muslim and Bukhari, when Abu Talha, their companion, asked the Prophet about an orphan children that doesn't have any, being left out with nothing except a big jar of liquor or wine. So they want to change it into vinegar and they want to sell it. Then the Prophet said, he said about the Jew. The Jew before, they have that tendency of trick. When Allah Ta'ala forbade them from eating the fat of an animal, except whatever on the top of the animal or inside the meat or inside the bone. They took the fat, they dissolve it, making into oil, and they sell the oil and they eat the price, the money that they get from selling the oil. So the Prophet ﷺ said, La'anallahu al-Yahud. When Allah Ta'ala is actually condemn the Jew. Because when Allah Ta'ala forbade them from eating, they take the fat, they dissolve it, making into oil, then they sell and they eat the money. So the Prophet said the same thing about the thing that the wine. The Prophet said, Ahriku. So how can you say a meat that being put inside the wine and because of the alcohol is gone already? Because the thing about the vinegar also, the alcohol is gone already. But the Prophet forbade the thing from happening. This time, this thing is actually, this type of fatwa, when I see this celebrity talking about this, I actually think about when he's saying that, first, he doesn't know about the hadith. Secondly, he wants to please people who are asking from him that question. And normally, those who are actually eating steak being put inside the wine is actually, those people actually have money. So he tried to please that people by saying it's okay. Yeah, you know, fruitcake also. It's the same. So the thing is actually because the wine, the Prophet said, Ahriku, because the money from selling the wine directly cannot. But changing the wine into vinegar, the Prophet said cannot. The Prophet told them to Throw it away. You cannot have any benefits from that things. Because once you say it, you can benefit it, then I will start to store wine. Didn't drink it, but I am a wine seller. I change wine into vinegar. Because if you want to do the vinegar, you have to go all the way to the process. But if you stop it at wine stage, then the thing is actually stay as a wine for 100 years. For 100 years. Nothing will change there. So be careful. Because sometimes people are doing that. He said here on the platform of media. Aw fi ba'dil mawaqi' or some of the websites. Wa sa'adahum 'ala dhalika taraqudu kathir minan nas fi hadzal bab. And helping them to doing that, to continue to giving fatwa trick in Islam is actually because many of people coming into that door. The real door to make Allah Ta'ala pleased with us is the real door to obey. Then he opened the other door for people to come into this door because it's easier for them. Wa adna nazratin fil waqi'i kabayan al-amra jalalun wallahu musta'an. And by little looking into this matter, in the reality, it's become clear that this matter is actually become big. Allah is the only one that we can ask for help. Number 4, from the implementation of this Quranic rule, fi babi talabil ilmi syar'iyyan kana am ghairu syar'i, in the door or in the topic of studying the knowledge, either is actually syar'i, means religious, or non-religious. Wa kadzalika fi talabil rizq, also in searching for provision, rizq. Fa inna kullu man salaka tariqan wa amila amalan, because whoever go into the road, crossing the road, and also doing any deeds, wa atahu min abwabihi wa turuqihi al-muwasilati ilayhi, and they are going into that road from those road that arriving to the thing that he want. That means he want to be successful in his studies. He go into the right way and want to have provision, want to have risk, buying and selling. Go into the right way. Fala budda an yaflaha wa yanjaha. And actually, surely he must be successful and victorious. Wa yasilu ilayhi ila ghayatihi wa yasilu bihi ila ghayatihi. He will come by the way, the right way to whatever his goal. But maybe the time or the difficulties is there because you are going to the right way. Because memorizing, when you want to learn, memorize. Again, you memorize everything. You do studies. You do your homework. So things actually, you have that struggle. In Islam, see, the struggle will make you have the reward from Allah. It's not not consequences. The result. The result is actually nothing. But the way you are going, that is actually being taken by the angels. What you have, what you lost, and that going to the right way. That's the thing that you have to know. Getting the result is not the first thing. Because the result maybe have for you long. You have to take long time for you, like study. Going into Arabic classes, you go one Arabic classes, don't understand, you go to the second one, the third one, the fourth one. So in the end, you stop. So in the end, you just go into the translation. You don't want to have the struggle. But going into the struggle is actually have that pride and also have the blessing from Allah. He say here, Kama qala ta'ala, as being said by Allah, wa'tul buyuta min abwabiha. Go into the house, come into the house through its doors. Al-Baqarah 189. Wa kullama azman matlub ta'akkada hadzal amr. And whatever you want to achieve is bigger, then this thing will become more and more to be imposed. To go from the right way is actually being imposed upon you. Ta'ayyan al-bahthu tam an amsali aw aqwami turuq al-musilati ilayh. And to search complete searching, complete searching of the best and the straight way that making you arrive at the goal is actually become obligated. Search for the best, the right way for you to arrive at the result. Sorry. Okay. He said here, wama ajmala ma qalahu Qais bin Khatim. It's actually so beautiful, being said by a poet named Qais bin Khatim. He said, "Idza ma ataita al-izza min ghairi babihi." If you go into the greatness not from its door. If you go into the greatness not from its door, dalalta, you will be misguided. You will be lost the way. Wa in taksud min babi tahtadi. But if you go to its door, you will get the guidance. Whenever you try to go into something but not from its door, then you surely will be misguided. But if you go from the right door, then you will be guided. You will get guided. That's why the thing we said here about that. So we stop here, inshallah, because the topic is actually quite long. Because some of the rule came just 3 pages. Some of it 5 pages. This one is actually quite long, so we stop here, inshallah, and continue next week. Now, this kitab names 50 Quranic rules in on life and soul, on soul and life. By the author is actually by Dr. Umar bin Abdillah Al-Muqbil. Dr. Umar bin Abdillah Al-Muqbil. He's associate professor in Kuliah Syariah, the Faculty of Sharia and Islamic Studies, Jami'ah Qasim in Saudi Arabia. So he's actually an associate professor. So because this book is right now it's actually alive, still alive. Walillahi alhamd. He's from many places. So now it's actually we already. No, he took it from the Quran. For 50 Quranic rule about soul and life. So he took whatever from the Quran, because he said the Quran, if you want to you say tadabbur, to deeply understanding every ayah, is actually will be difficult for you. So he tried to take from the Quran short verses from the Quran that is actually can be implemented in our life and can make sure that our soul is guided to the way of Allah. So the interpretation from many things, from the hadith, from the books of the scholars. Yeah, from the book scholar. No. He took it from Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah books, from many, from Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, from Ibn Kathir is there. So he took the explanation about that rule from many places. Many references. So it's actually making us easier for us to learn. If you want, the student of Ibn Taymiyyah, he's actually the same era of Ibn Kathir. Both of them, Ibn Kathir and Ibn Qayyim, was the student of Ibn Taymiyyah. Tabari is older. Tabari is actually died around 310. Ibn Kathir is actually 600 something. Further. Because this died 310. Ibn Kathir 600 plus. His time was 300 Hijrah. After that, maybe 300 years between Ibn Kathir and Tabari 300 years apart. 300 years. Yeah, 300 years. Not really near. So when you see about this, the book is actually really concerned about the how to implement the meaning or the rule of Al-Quran in our life. So that is like we say into the like we talked just now until 4, is it? For it's the implementation, how we understand the rule that Allah Ta'ala said, Wa'tul buyuta min abwabiha. Come to the house from its doors. Don't come from any other doors. Means that, yeah, in ibadah. Yeah, implementation. Because it's so vast. Because it's not really about the Hajj only. Can be anything. So when we learn, we know that to obey Allah Ta'ala, that is the reason. Not about to get yourself become easier. In Islam, in the ruling of Allah, there is easiness. That is the easiness there. But some people is actually running away, saying that it's actually like we say about the woman, say that we're being obligated with many things. But when she learn Islam carefully, actually Allah Ta'ala make easy for her to go to the paradise more than the man. Okay. Yeah, actually not about eating. Actually, the Prophet ﷺ said about silver and gold. Silver and gold. Either it's actually pure silver or pure gold is actually forbidden by Allah. Pure. The container, yes, the container. Yes, eat or drink. Pure, actually still cannot. Actually, if even is mixed, it actually cannot. That's the thing. The silver is there. Still, the silver is there. Because that the Prophet said, "Hiya lahum fid dunya." The container, the plate, the cup from gold and silver is for them in this world, for the non-believers in this world, and for us in the akhirah. So, because the thing, when you have that plates that is actually from gold or silver, you are using it to just make it a container for your eating. You don't eat it. But for those actually poor people, they doesn't have anything to eat. You actually using something riya. That's actually what the scholars want to make us understand. But the Prophet clearly said, "Hiya lahum fid dunya, walana fil akhirah." It is for them in this world, but for us in the akhirah. If you kept it, yes, the zakat will happen for you. If you have the plate, you have all the things with you, then the zakat is there. Because you need to use. Yes. You don't use it. Because the thing can be like a treasure. It's treasure. You found the treasure. Some of the pirates or any kingdom before us, they have that things. If you get that thing, you kept it as an asset. Yes. As an asset. Yes. As an asset. Yes. To make it as show to show, no, not to show, as an asset. The form doesn't, you don't have any problem. If either it's a ring or plate, as an asset, it's okay to have that. But if once you display it, that is problem. You know, this display, because the asset, the bowl. Yeah, I know. The condition is also cannot. Because the thing is actually, when you say about the asset, because the usage of that container, the plate or the bowl from they said is what is it called? Auntie's end? No, something in the West country, they have that one or two product that using the silver. It's actually for you to use it. It's actually so tiring. Whenever you use, I saw it. Some of the diplomats, they use the silver bowl, silver container to put food. They have to polish it after usage, and then before usage. So tiring. It's not for you. Actually, for displaying also is cannot, because an asset, you have a ring. Do you display your ring? No. If you say it's asset, so you don't display it. You have it's you no, when you have that necklace or everything, you keep it in a safe place. You not for sure. So you can wear, but when using the plate, that not for ladies, not for men. Yeah, not for decoration. You can scap. Yeah, because actually it's become an asset. Asset, you don't display your asset. You don't display your asset. That asset, you have a ring, gold ring. That's the thing. You don't actually, what you say, you don't make it for those people, actually poor people. They doesn't have anything. You display that something. They can buy many things with that. That's the reason. Because actually, returning to the hadith, the Prophet said, it is for them in this world, for us in the last day. In the last day, for us. For them in this world. Because the Prophet ﷺ can have that usage, but for silver and also for gold. Because actually, when you say it is asset, you got the thing. You when asset, you can sell it anytime to get money. That is okay, but not to display. Not to display, because display is not okay. That's not the same usage. Not for us to use it like that. For the Muslim, it's actually showing off things that I have more money. I don't need this. I just display it there. When you put it there, it's actually you are telling people, I'm so wealthy that the money that I have, I use it. This asset, I don't have to worry about it. I display it here. You display the asset. You don't need the asset. You want to say that I don't need anything. I'm so rich, so wealthy. Rational. That's the thing. Because the thing, if you want something to be beneficial for you, your asset or your money must be beneficial for you and must be usable. If usable, then this thing cannot be used except for to eat. Decoration also not a good one. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Any question there? Tak ada, Alhamdulillah. So insyaAllah we'll continue, even because the coughing is actually so hard. So we'll continue with our topic insyaAllah next week. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa sallam, alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.